Things got a little heated today between the Packers and the Seahawks. It was a joint practice. They had some big plays. They had some chippy moments. We've got the highlights from Lambeau Field from Ashley Washburn.
Before the Packers' joint practice with Indy, Matt LaFleur said his expectations for players was to be competitive, but also keep it clean. Well, that memo clearly got lost in translation against the Seahawks on Thursday because that practice was anything but clean. Multiple fights broke out, but none bigger than during a goal line drill with Zach Tom at the center of it.
We were in the huddle and somebody in our huddle, like, it's already kind of disrespectful that they're in our huddle. And then somebody gets hit while we're in the huddle, gotta have some pride,
Zach was kicked out of the rest of practice. While players like seeing that level of intensity and support for one another, they also know the downside.
It's one of those things you hate to see because it just kind of, stops practice and, prolongs some of those drills, but we don't get as many reps in, but it's one of those things that happens.
The lesson we have to learn really is just that we can't let that take us out of our game, right? You can't let that affect our discipline. Because, after those things happen, you see guys are jumping off sides, guys are, false starting, getting out of their, habitual deal. So you can't just let some emotions, stray you from the main missions.
Now, aside from a few scrums, two things stood out on offense. One, both Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave had themselves a day. But in red zone 7-on-7s, which was modified for an injured Jordan Love, he completed just 3 of 12 with the Seahawks secondary owning that period.
I think there's some stuff that we'll watch it and definitely clean up. It's red zone 7-on-7, windows are a little bit tighter. Everything happens quicker down there. So, obviously a couple plays that we left out there that wish we could have got back, but it's good stuff to go back and look at. Obviously going against, Seattle's defense, a little bit different than what we've been going against. So, some good work, and we'll have some stuff that we'll look at, clean up.
Some positive news to note, Xavier McKinney did return to practice Thursday for individual drills after suffering a calf injury during training camp, which is earlier than anticipated, saying he'll also be back in team drills next week. In Green Bay, Ashley Washburn, TMJ4 Sports.
The Green Bay Packers wrapping up their preseason action Saturday afternoon against the Seattle Seahawks. Catch the kickoff from Lambeau right here on TMJ4. We are your official Packers station.